Yo, good people. It's your homie HerbMan. Busting you back upside the head with another hot banger. Boogie, go tell somebody. Your homie HerbMan is on. Yes, sir. And if you're new to the program, welcome. Please follow, like, share, and subscribe on all the platforms at Love HerbMan. All right. So I am your neighborhood holistic practitioner. I'm your homie HerbMan. We're coming live from South Africa, live on TikTok, live on YouTube. Please subscribe, be notified every day the HerbMan show comes on. All right. So we're double dipping. We're coming on twice a day now, from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can get with the HerbMan morning show, or you can get with this show here, which is the original HerbMan show. All right. So wherever you want to do, however you want to do it, you guys, I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So here we teach people how to heal themselves, and you cannot heal yourself if you do not know thyself. So we teach you here about the human frame and the human design, so that you can be well on your way to happiness, wholeness, and wellness. All right. And that's in every area of your life. That's just not in your physical, but that's also in your spiritual, emotional, and mental whereabouts. These departments also need some house cleaning, and that's what we do here on the HerbMan show. Okay. Now, what we utilize in order to be able to do this is the oldest ancient way of talking to nature, which is using numbers. Okay. Numbers. All right. The gods speak in numbers. Nature speaks in numbers, not in English. All right. So how we do this is we understand that you've been tagged with one of the oldest tags on the planet, which is your birthday. That birthday holds so much information that it holds more information than 90 days worth from your hair sample. It holds more information than 24 hours worth of your blood sample. We don't need no blood type. We're not going to prick you, prod you, or poke you. This is non-invasive, non-intrusive information, and you get this here on the HerbMan show, okay? So all we need is a birthday, you guys, and we're going to be able to help you heal your life, okay? Heal your life. That's what we do. But in order for you to be able to get there, you must understand that this is a free information station. You don't have to pay for anything. All you got to simply do is pay attention. And how you pay attention is by double tapping this little screen here. And let's get us up to 100,000 likes during the live broadcast. All right. Now, once we get to 1,000 likes, we'll get into the subject matter at hand. Now, again, for you guys that don't know me, I am your homie HerbMan. We do this every single day. Okay, every single day we come in to bust you upside the head and wake you up out of the slumber of disconnect between your mind and your body. Okay, so we only dealing with you. We ain't talking about what your mama them did, what your cousin them did, what your uncle them did. We talking about you. We dealing with you. Okay, and so when you come here, be prepared to deal with self. Okay, and be prepared to open up, open-minded, self-aware, and be ready to change. And when you'll see that when you're ready to change, that's when shit happen, baby. When you ready is when shit pop off. And all we're trying to do is get you there, okay? So we teach people about the oldest ancient language on the planet, which is numbers, okay? And with numbers, we use time, okay? So let me go ahead and change this real quick. Today's date. All right, let's get some of yesterday up off of here. All right, so today's date is going to be 12/3/2025. Is that correct? 12/3/2025. I know y'all don't think that that's the date, but that's the date. 12/3/2025. Okay. Up here, today's date is 6/3/2025. Now I know most of you guys woke up today. Y'all gonna write 8/3/2025. Okay. And that subtle difference, just right there, if you're new to the program, that subtle difference of you not really knowing what today's date is why you can't heal yourself. Is why you can't get superpowers. Is why you can't do everlasting life. Is why you can't connect and self-heal. Is why you lost and confused and still doing 40 years of wilderness. Remember that the book of Numbers, today's Sunday, so I do want to come into it with a little bit of some, I would say some religiosity to foundate what we're talking about. Numbers. Numbers is the old ancient language of God. But what are numbers saying? Numbers are simply language of transition, right? How a baby can transition from a baby or fetus to an actual newborn baby to an elder to an adult, adolescence, etc., etc. How a plant can go from a seed to an apple tree. These are it's just a understanding of transition. And it's a language, okay, that the seed going from that apple tree happened in days, happened in time. Follow me, okay? And so whatever happens, anything that goes from nothing to something, numbers 0 to 9. 0 to 9 is 10 digits. Okay, 0 to 9 is 10 digits, you guys. 0 to 9 equals 10 digits. Okay, that's equaling 10 digits. So we know that there's more zeros in a million than it is one. And so zeros are holding value, which means that they are quantified in time. And so therefore you got 10 o'clock, right? Because 0 holding value. So we know then that from 0 to 9 is only showing me transition. From nothing to something. That's all it's doing. From nothing to something, from dark to light, from this spectrum to this spectrum, from this volume to this volume, from this length to this length, from nothing to something. So your birthday is a numbers that is telling me about your transition here in this paradigm. That is what has been missing in the pool in the school of thought when it comes to psychology, but also when it comes to the physiological aspects of man. So we are introducing the owner's manual for your little funky measly $50. Only with your birthday, and show you how to balance your nature along with nature. That's the commercial. Okay, now let's get to the teaching. All right. If you guys are interested in your owner's manual, please DM me and we'll get you the information that you need. Now, the importance of this language is that we can get it out of a day or we can get it out of your day. Okay. And so what we're trying to do is sync people back up to nature. But first, we got to illustrate, open your mind up to your nature. There are things that you are doing and things that you need to be working on to get rid of the disconnect between mind and body. Okay? Between mind and body, right? And so what we're trying to do is you came from here, you came from north, you came from a thought. Okay? Then from a thought, you became a baby. Then you came in the paradigm from south. So when you come from the paradigm from south, then where you coming from? Anybody know? Come on, you guys, keep tapping, I'll keep talking. If you came out from the south, then where you coming from? Does anybody know that? If you started from the mind, but then you also got, because the mind is a womb, and then we also know we have a womb down here. So we got a womb here and a womb here, but you started as sex in the womb, the creativity of just wanting to make love to somebody. That was the only thing. Love or intimacy was the first seed created here. From that, a seed was created from here. So from the womb of here and from the womb of here, you came from. So you came out of the south. Where are you starting your journey from? Anybody know? Come on, YouTube. Come with it. What's going on, you guys? What's going on? What's going on, YouTube? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Yeah, we ain't doing birthdays right now. The only time we're doing birthdays is when you guys come up on live, man. We're not just throwing out birthdays no more like that. It's too many people. Anybody know? I still ain't seen the right answer. Where did you come from? If you came from the South, then where are you coming from? Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Nico. Okay. If you coming out of the South, then you're coming from the South. If you're coming out of the South, you started in the North, but you came out into the matrix from the South end of the portal. That means that you must come from the South. That means that you must raise the Kundalini. That means that you must get into directional to go back home. Go back home is to your most high state. You started in the consciousness of the mind of your daddy and mama, and then you started from the consciousness of the gonads of your daddy and mama. But it started here first. They got to lay down before they can produce anything. So my point to you is that you came down the chimney, you must go back up. So now when they talk about can this going back home, can this Christos, can this Kundalini, can this energy be raised from the bottom? Yes, remember that the two connections is what? The positives and the negatives. The positive is the brain, the negative is the reproductive organs. So that is going to complete the actual cycle. If you go past a reproductive organ, you're looking at your legs. Your legs is hanging out, but the only thing still connected to the spinal cord is going to be the spinal cord is going to be the reproductive system. Past that is legs. So it's the reproductive system and it's the brain. So now you can harness up hormonal energy, sex hormones, to your brain. Oh no, I ain't know you could do that. They're all going into the endocrine system. The bloodstream go everywhere, including your brain, and it's going to cross over into your blood-brain barrier, and that's what it's going to be in your brain. Now, what's going to happen is then you're going to start to produce certain hormones, like what do they call them? Gonadotropins. I think they call it gonadotropins or something like that. Yeah, those are hormones. All of that is being produced from where? From the pituitary gland that's in the brain. From the hypothalamus that's in the brain. So we see that we have this connection. Okay. Now, when you raise up this particular force, that ain't nothing more than the transition. So when they talk about numbers in the Bible, they're trying to tell you about transition. Anybody ever read the book of Numbers know that the book of Numbers is telling you about when the children of Israel went and disobeyed God. He sentenced them to 40 years in the wilderness. Then the children that they had in the 40 years of wilderness inherited the land of Canaan, showing you the transition from God's wrath to God's mercy, showing you the transition from them being blind and disobeying God. You know how the Israelites were disobeying God every 5 minutes in that book, right? So they believe you 1 minute and then they just got them go cold on your head the next. You know how we is. We believe you 1 minute, we go cold on you on the next. They were doing that with God. So I ain't mad at you doing that on me, TikTok. I ain't mad at y'all doing that on me, YouTube. You see? But my point to you is that this just illustrates man's mind. So 40 years of wilderness ain't necessarily mean you was out in the woods. It means that there was 40 years of a veil being over your eyes, meaning there was 40 years that you was walking around here like zombies, like the Walking Dead, the eyes wide shut. It was 40 years that you was in your wild mind. It was 40 years that you wasn't tamed, that you tamed ain't meaning like a pet. Tamed meaning that you were balanced. It was 40 years that you was in this paradigm unbalanced, wild on one end, expressive and excessive and consumptive and animalistic on one end. 40 years of wilderness is a ignorance to some extent. Understanding that your ignorance is going to be the one thing that is going to increase industry. It is out of your ignorance of how you operate within this paradigm that's created all the industries on the planet. Because if you understood that you come with everything, then there'll be no bill for you to pay. There'll be no, because you got all the skills within you. There are certain things that work within you that are the doctors of your body. Why would you need an outside doctor? Your immune system is your doctor. Your gut is your smoothie and your juicer, but you want to keep buying smoothies and juices. Why the fuck you keep buying all these blenders and juices for? Your stomach ain't good. But you don't understand your design. So you got to get something processed before the processor get it. It's almost like somebody got to chew your food before they give it to you. You at that baby stage. And it don't matter if you 70, 80, 90, or 1 year old. I'm talking to you. See, because when you're in these lost situations, when you're in the wilderness and you're lost and you're confused because your mind is not in the present moment with the body. So therefore, we're giving you an opportunity with this particular program. There's not a panacea product, but there is a panacea program. It's a nature-based intervention that you need to sit down with nature. You need to have a talk with God. You need to pause, rest, retreat for a minute in the ambiance and the abundance of nature, because for some reason life got you feeling in lack. And you're lacking healing, you're lacking this, you're lacking finances, you're lacking this, you're lacking that in this paradigm. But once you get back in tune with nature, there's a funny thing that nature-based intervention does. There's a funny thing that when you go back and talk to mama, when you go back in the bosom of God and you go back and see the beauty that surrounds you, that starts to energize you, rejuvenate you, reiterate you, reposition your perspective on your design, and next thing you know, you start feeling better about your life and self, because you start to realize, damn, they've been having me so busy that I haven't been able to stay in alignment with oneself. So we use time to show you that transition. It was Jesus Christ, then Christ Jesus. It is you coming into the paradigm in the physical, but then you also have to come into your own in the spiritual. Genesis is the genealogy of Adam. Genesis ain't nothing but the beginning of the masculine energy, the beginning of your intellect, the birth of your intellect. Adam is the body, Eve is the mind, the snake is thought. Thought into the mind, and the body follow. So what we got to be conscious of is the thought life, not your diet of meat and diet of milk. It's your diet of thought about those things. It's not your diet of this and your diet of alcohol and drugs. It's your diet of thought about those things. So we got to understand how to go back to the rudimentary, fundamental disconnect is between mind and body, is between Adam and Eve, is between masculine and feminine energy within you, which is going to be required in order for you to activate your self-healing thing. Now, anytime that the positives and negatives are not on connection, then that means that you have no charge. So a lot of you guys are existing now running low on charge, because the recipe to charging you up is polarity, which means that you got to get back into the right position to connect this positive and negative. Anytime you get off of track with mind and body, and I can do this easily by depressing you or making you worry. I can do this easily by depressing you or make you anxious. I can do this easily by frustrating you or making you angry. I can do this easily by disappointing you or hating you. I can do this easily by making you sad. Or this, I can do this easy by controlling your emotions. I get you disconnected from the mind and the body. Easy. And when I do that, that lessens your opportunity to be in sync with time. To be in sync with time. The Bible is a coded book of numbers. This is an old ancient system. And once we get to 100,000 likes today, we're going to bring up some live people onto the live today for you to be able to see how this works, okay? Once we get to 100,000 likes, we're going to bring people up live so you can see this in live effect, how this works, how accurate this can be for you and your family. We're no longer okay with opening up restaurants for you to come and taste HerbMan fish and chips. We're no longer content with that, because what that does is that makes me have to be at the restaurant every day to fulfill your desire, to fulfill you, you know, just to even get them the crumbs that you're getting. I got to be there. No, we want to educate you on how to fish. So instead of it being a line outside of my restaurant, I wanted it to be a line outside of the school of teaching a motherfucker how to fish, so that you don't ever have to fish, ever have to worry about or to be dependent on somebody else again for a skill set that you came into Paradigm with that you forgot how to access. So in this thing here, we're trying to position you into being centered. All right. That's the position that we're trying to get you into. Now, in reference to time, this would be considered September the 23rd or September the 21st, September the 23rd, whichever day you feel like that New Year's Day is, okay? Let's just, for peak's sake, say September the 21st is this crossroad, okay? Some of us have crossed this already. Some of us haven't crossed it. Now, it changes because it could be September the 21st or it could be March the 21st, depending on which one of these sides of life that you're transitioning into. Well, which one of these are sides of life? This is the intellectual side. This is the intuitive side. This is the fact-based side. This is the faith-based side. This is your masculine energy. This is your feminine energy, okay? When you get into a particular problem, you need to know how to get connected, which means that you got to get repositioned. What the owner's manual would do is it tracks you through time using your birthday so that we can know where you are to reposition you. Now, everybody knows that a GPS system gives you two things: your destination and your current location. Okay, so now that's what we do here. With your birthday, I get your destination and your current location. You're gonna see this once we get to 1,000 likes, 100,000 likes. You will see people coming in, and we're gonna track them. We're gonna show them their destination, and we're gonna show them their current location, and then we're gonna talk to them about their life, and you're gonna see what. And I tell you the truth, I'm gonna ask them straight up. The first question: do you know me? To let y'all know, this ain't paid. We don't do this. First of all, I'm in South Africa. Second of all, I don't know none of y'all, and third of all, you can't pay me for nothing but my services. Okay, so at the end of the day, we're trying to show you in real life what this can do. Okay, so you'll be able to see that once we get to 100,000 likes. Now, what are we doing? Once we get you tracked, then we know exactly where you are in the time spectrum, which is meaning that we know where you are on the yellow brick road. This is a DNA. Okay, this is the infinity sign. This is also going to be the light spectrum. This is the rainbow. This is the 12 disciples. This is the 12 cranial nerves. This is the 12 cell salts. This is the 12 zodiacs. This is the 12 months of the year. This is all of the esoteric and all of the metaphysical stuff that you've ever known in life. This is it. This is also a compass. South, north, north. If you're facing this way, that's east, that's west. True north, when you're facing true north, then east side is going to be to your right. So it doesn't matter necessarily what you're looking at here. What you're trying to understand is which way is back home. Which way is back home in order for me to be able to get this situation. Now, here's the thing. When you ask that question, you must understand that death is not the key to access home. Life is. So what we've been taught is the death consciousness under the stress of time. So you're so much in the scurry and you're so much getting affected by opportunities that have been missed under the oppression of the time construct in your mind. You ain't got a lot of time. So that's why children are goddamn shoot you at 12 because they feel like it's the end of the world at 12. How the hell could you feel like it's the end of the world at 12? You must understand that there's more to life and you're going to forget about all these motherfuckers in a minute. You won't see none of them no more in a minute. You won't hear from none of them no more in a minute. Whether they're your best friends or they're your enemies, you're going to make a life decision that you probably won't see even your best of friends in high school no more. But you don't get it because you 12 and you can't see 18 to be like that. Or you 18 and can't see tomorrow to feel like that. Or you 31 and can't feel 41 coming in 10 years. And so you start killing and start feeling all distraught. And see, these are enemies of psychology, which is enemies of the mind. And therefore, when your mind gets separated from your body, there's no stop sign for the flesh. So the flesh will do anything without the mind being present. And therefore, that's where addictions and habits and social engineering come in at. So if you think about it, there are so many of us that have driven home and not thought about the trip home, but we made it home. We don't even really remember nothing about the trip home other than we made it in the driveway. Right? We made it home. That's roboticism. That's muscle memory. But that's roboticism. That's subconsciousness. That's where they want you to be because there's no connection there. So if I keep you thinking about tomorrow or thinking about yesterday in the present today, then you don't have any connection with God. You don't have any connection with the earth. You don't have any connection with nature. And so just that little subtle misinformation, or you didn't know that lack of knowledge keeps you from ever tapping in. But every now and then a dog shine, every now and then sun shine on a dog ass. So every now and then you'll fuck around and synchronize and you'll get a job, but you don't know how to intentionally do it. So there are two things that you understand with time. Time, you must be conscious. Okay? With time, you must be conscious. And then with time, you must be intentional. And these are the things that make you a good steward to your existence here. These are the things that can get you into supernatural abilities. Just think for a minute. You got a poor mind and a rich mind. There's no such thing as poverty. There's no such thing as wealth. There's only such things as mentalities when it comes. These are states of being. A rich mind understands that although and both of them start out at the same place. So right now they both at zero. How does someone make nothing out of something and how the other one can't do it? The poor mind versus the rich mind, both starting out at zero. When you both start out at zero, the first motherfucker who figure out what they got more than the other one is the person to win. So the poor mind is wanting money knowing he ain't got it. The rich mind know he ain't got no money, but know he got time. So the rich mind starts to study long, practice long, starts to research long, starts to work long, put in the effort longer because it utilizing what it got, which is time. And because it utilized and invested and saved and earned and did all the things that money do, but he did it with his time, riches begin to come. There's no such thing as money in that aspect. That is a mentality that attracts those things. If you're looking to attract wealth, you must be able to learn how to invest what you have. How good of transactions are you dealing with in time? Because if your credit good in time, then somebody might give you some credit in the real world. If your name good in time, then somebody else may give you a little front on your name in the real world. And if your budgeting and your transactions and your spending, earning, making, and all of this is good in time, then you'll be good with money. The poor mind does not realize that his greatest asset is not what he don't got, is what he do got. and you sitting there with that cancer diagnosis, and you sitting there with your grandmama, your granddaddy, your mama, your daddy, listen to me right now, and you feel like you have nothing else. God ain't working fast enough for you with your prayers. The doctors can't figure out something fast enough for you with their intellect, and you're just all out of options. And what I'm trying to tell you right now is, if you look at grandmama, if you're holding your parents' hand, if you're looking at your spouse, or even if you're here alone in the room listening to me, there is something else in you when all else fails with man's intellect, aka with the physical body. And it's your mind, your body, aka your spirit. And what we're saying is that we're offering you, just from your birthday and a funky measly $50, an opportunity to know how to balance your life out, to know how to transition, how to get into the promised land, how to cross over the river Jordan, how to open up the Red Sea, how to get into your enlightenment, be ye transformed by the renewing of the mind, how to be able to open up this gateway into your mind. And we can pull energy from the mind. We can pull energy from a high spirit and a high mind. We can pull energy from that and give it over and lend it over and direct it to a kidney that can't work. Direct it to a heart that can't work. Direct it to some blood cells that ain't operating properly. Direct it, because understanding that polarity ain't just about the North Pole, and polarity ain't just about the negatives and positives on the battery, but polarity is also the fundamental understanding of atoms. Atom, how atom work, the body, the physical. Go do your research. Polarity ain't just a thing I brought up here just to kind of cruise over. And it's understood that this recipe of opposition and friction, when your cells are going one-sided, that means they're getting too masculine or too feminine, right? And they just got that one instruction, that one code that's going out. Build something when we know that it's supposed to be a catabolic and anabolic action going on in the body at all times in order to keep this balance. You're supposed to be able to have a proper amount of sodium to potassium, a proper amount of copper, a proper amount of zinc, a proper amount of sodium, a proper amount to magnesium, and a proper amount of phosphorus, and a proper amount of calcium. Always should be in balance, in ratio. And anytime there becomes an imbalance, anytime there becomes some concentration, then there is some compensation that starts to happen within the body. If you're a doctor, you know what I'm talking about. I'm on your level now. Anytime that there is some concentration, there is some compensation, because the body only knows balance. And when it runs out of raw material to keep that balance is when you would be considered to be in your most dire health need. So what we got to understand is that what does it take to bring that balance back? And in most cases, it's a spiritual thing, especially for our brothers and sisters who are at their last leg, where you cannot ask for the body to do anymore. They're feeble, they're elderly, they're debilitated. These are people on their deathbed. That's why I'm really preaching this, because it's for them. This is what we're trying to get you to see, how to resurrect. Resurrection, okay? Resurrection goes straight from south to north. Straight from the bottom to the top is a resurrection. How you do that is the balance. What is the balance is a recipe. What's the recipe? Polarity. What's polarity? Oppositions. What's oppositions? That's what you got to learn. And sometimes you got to understand that when you are physically weak, the opposition is to be spiritually strong. And that's how we get you to heal yourself. Any questions thus far? Our gut is our blender, and so your stomach is the blender, and your intestines is the juicer. Okay, your eyes is the camera or the headlights on your car. Your digestive system is the engine, that runs that car. Your brain is the computer. So you built all of those technologies off of you, amongst a whole lot of other stuff. Okay. Amongst the satellites and antennas, that's your hair. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? What's going on? What's going on? Stopping for questions. You guys keep tapping. I'll keep talking. Stopping for questions. Keep tapping. I'll keep talking. So if there's no other questions, then must understand the value of understanding you're out of time. If the day is actually 12/3/2025, now here is going to be it's 12/3/2025 here. So you're writing 8/3/2025 in the southern hemisphere, and you're 4 months above time. So you don't put yourself behind time by writing today's date. Southern hemisphere, everything under the equator. You don't put yourself behind time by permeating in your mind that you want to be in a unison with the southern hemisphere date. I mean, with the northern hemisphere date. You put yourself 4 months behind time by going with the Gregorian calendar, which happened in a Renaissance age, which brought in the rebirth, which puts you into a new time span. Where before it was the what they call it, the Ptolemaic design, and the Ptolemaic design had Earth in the center. Where now you have the Copernicus sign gotta have the sun in the middle. Well, when you do that, you change time. Copernicus came out in the Renaissance age with Pythagorean and all the rest of them. So when the Renaissance age came in, that rebirthed you into a new time, which took your ass out of sync with nature. And that was the ultimate blueprint plan. It wasn't about no Jesus Christ, no this. It was only about getting you off of your connection between man and land. See, the dark ages suppressed the information, but the golden age is where you actually knew how to do this, and that's how you build the pyramids. You didn't have to build no goddamn no bulldozer. You just had to think of one. Okay? You didn't have to build no skyscraper. You could just think of one. And your connection with the land in your most supernatural state allowed you to be able to think the design into existence rather than to be able to have to get just the raw material. You could think of everything you need and it would just come together. Okay? It was called bending. Bending. You had air benders, you had earth benders, you had water benders, and you also had fire benders. And these bending abilities allowed you to be able to manipulate nature in a way that you can't do no more today. And how this was able to even be fathomed was because you was in perfect cohesence with nature, considering that you got all of your pointers. You felt like you got all of the pointers. You felt like you got all of the direction. You felt like you got all the correction. You felt like you got the reflection from nature. So it was this symbiotic relationship that was like, damn, for some reason, this shit is leading me. It's guiding me to being human and being able to be here longer than one day without the elements killing me. It seemed like mama is guiding me to the water. Mama guided me to some good soil. Mama guided me to ideals and put me in scenarios I'm creating off of my hands, because I was the first thing that you gave 2 feet and 2 hands to, because the 4 feet people the mind couldn't get right. And the 4-handed folk, the mind couldn't get right. But if I make them with 2 feet and 2 hands and then put the mind of God, put the imagery, the imagination of how I even created the universe inside of a man. Therefore, when you get into certain situations, that mind, my mind, will allow those hands to be able to manipulate the resources, cultivate the resources, utilize the resources around him for him to be able to live in this paradigm. And along the way, we lost that. Through our inventions, through our conventions, we lost it. through our conveniences, we lost that connection. And at your worst moment in life, is at the end of life. And you've been here all this time not learning how to keep the spacesuit working is a travesty. And we believe from this information and for your funky measly $50 that we're giving you the blueprint to live 120 years old. And we believe that if we can start getting here more often and make this the number, the life expectancy, then we're on to something. We can start getting humans to 240, to 360, then to everlasting life. What is the secret? Show the human that in the paradigm, you must share in the responsibility of this paradigm. You must share your body with your mind. Share. You cannot go all 120 years in the paradigm physically due to the oxidative stress, the wear and tear, the inflammatory, the environmental stimuli. All of this will wear down the body. So how do you pace? How do you preserve the body for an everlasting existence in a oxidized natural environment? That means that you must understand how to work intuition. This intuition is going to be how you take less stress off of the experience. See, when you're doing intellect is only good for things that have already been shown to you. Facts are things that have already been done. So you replicate that. That's an easier job to do. You looking at how they did the warehouse, how he drove the forklift. You're looking at YouTube, how to do this. How you can replicate. We understand that's intellect, but that don't work when that don't work. So now that shit don't work. So now your cancer, they replicated the same shit they've been doing everybody that they did with you, and it don't work with you. So now intellect has reached its capacity. What else do you got? Well, intellect is good for shit that has already happened, but it's bad for stuff that hasn't happened, that is the unknown. In the unknown arena, which means that we don't know how to heal you. We have reached the top and we can't do nothing else for you. You got to go to hospice. We'll send a nurse to you. There's nothing else we can do. That means you are in the unknown. Or if you broke down a motherfucker and you don't know where you're going to get some money from, or you lonely, or you want to figure out where to get a spouse from, whatever it is, you must understand that some stuff can't nobody figure out. You must go into it with intuitive powers. You must go into the unknown. But you can't go in there with your body. We got to go there with your mind. And we can heal you. You can heal yourself. And that's what we're teaching here on the HerbMan Show. Okay? Any questions? Keep tapping, you guys. I'll keep talking. You keep tapping. I'll keep talking. Let's get us up to 100,000. Okay? So now think about the person in the northern hemisphere writing down 8/3/2025 when the day is actually 6/3/2025 up there. Then the thing about it is that you don't put yourself 2 months ahead. So the person in the northern hemisphere, the people up here are putting themselves 2 months ahead of time. Ooh, think about this now. And the people at the bottom of the equator are putting themselves 4 months behind time. On top of that, not knowing where they are in time. So now you got this ignorance of time, ignorance of the language of God, ignorance of how God taught and what nature taught, because you thinking it's in words of English. You reading them books this morning. I'm telling you, God taught in numbers. See, this is what I'm trying to get y'all to see. But it's numbers in the book. Who going to church this morning? Put some ones in the chat. If you're going to church this morning, put some ones in the chat. One book I want you to read is I want you to read the book of Numbers. Okay? Promise me you'll read the book of Numbers so that you can get an understanding of what the whole book of Numbers is talking about. Numbers is a language of transition. Them folks that wasn't in no 40 years in the wilderness. Ain't nobody went to no Canaan. Ain't nobody did no promised land. That ain't a real story when it comes to the people in the story. It's a real story when it comes to the principle. And the principle is showing you what numbers mean. When you go and read Numbers, I want y'all to come back and tell me what the book of Numbers mean. What does all that mean? Spiritually. Because we know ain't nobody in the wilderness for no 40 years. Okay? And you'll see what numbers are talking about, and that's why we use your birthday. Okay? That's why we use your birthday. Anybody else? HerbMan, you and I disconnected yesterday. I'm back for the information. Yeah, I know you would be, right? Anything for the free, huh? Anything for the free. Better pay your little funky measly $50 to go and get your reading, girl. Especially if you need it. If you need it, especially if you need it. I'm dead serious about that. Okay. So understanding these little subtle movements in mankind. I know I said mankind, but in mankind, these little subtle movements in mankind will throw us off of the ball, so that when it is time for us to be able to get opportunity, we're not prepared. Some of you walked past somebody this morning at the gas station. That was supposed to be the person, but you're not intuitive and discerning enough to catch these opportunities. So you are not in connection enough to know when it's time to heal, to know when it's time to get to the bag, to know when it's time to find the spouse. You don't know how to bank on the opportunity. So what we're showing you is the stock market of life. Not only are we showing you the stock market of life, we're also showing you trading 101 for real. On the Forex, on all of that, this is bear and this is bull. This is up, this is down, this is a trend, right? And you're riding the waves of that trend. If for the last 4 years, the trend has been bear, then guess what? I might play a little bull, but I'm going to play a whole lot of bear. If for the last 6 years it's been bull, guess what? I'm going to play a little bear, but I'm going to play a whole lot of bull, because I'm going to ride the trend. Now, I'm going to be very careful riding against the wave, but I'm going to be loose with it to ride with it. You see what I'm saying? And that's trading, if you ever didn't know that. So if you go to the stock market, if you go to Forex, if you go to stocks and bonds, I just gave you a trick on how to be the best trader in the world. Ride the waves. All right, now, so you go big riding the waves, and you go small going against it. You mean tell me that how they're making money on the stock market? Yes, ma'am. And that's also how you make well in opportunity in life. When you're getting flooded with life situations, when you're getting flooded with emotions of life, when you're getting flooded with life stimuli, environmental stimuli, then you must understand how to ride that flood. You can't swim in a. Some of y'all trying to fight against a. Some of you trying to fight against a tsunami of life things, a tsunami of life events that create these emotions. A cancer diagnosis will disturb and be turbulence in the waves inside of you, not only in your waves of your life. See, AIDS and herpes diagnosis will turbulence these waters on internally in you for real, not just on the outside in your life cause problems. Because you're having somebody diagnose you, they're also giving you stress of time. And now you're under this stress of time that, oh, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. Oh, what's going to happen in my lifetime? If I got AIDS, if I got herpes, I can't find love no more. If I to live no more. All of this is under this bottle, under this structure, under this foundation, under this rudimentary system working in the background called the stress of time. Now, we're trying to show you how to ride time. So if I told you that time is money, right? And I told you that time is the thing, it's the wave, it's the frequency that you got to ride. You got to ride the waves of time. So now if you're supposed to have everlasting life, how much money do you got? If I told you you're supposed to have everlasting life, if you got enough time, then you can start to endure, you can start to persevere, and you can start to understand that this sickness only will last for a season. I can endure it. But when you press for time, you worrying yourself out of time. How do you spend time? Let's go here. 4 things that you do with money. You make money. You spend money, You save money and you waste money. And you do the same thing with time. You make time, you can spend time. You can save time, and you can waste time. Now, how do you make time? Is by serving others. Now, if you look at the constitution of how you earn money doing a service of some form for somebody else. Customer service, flipping burgers, the mechanic, I don't care. You requiring for customers to come in to buy your product, whether it be business to business or not, you are or people to business, you're still serving others, making money. So then you serve others to make time. So to earn time in this paradigm, you should serve others. Give over your love to something else. Walk with me. Okay. Now, how you spend time is worrying. Now you can start to exasperate time. You can start to lose time. See, so some of these are going to be ways I can get an income, and some of these are going to be ways that time come out of me. Okay, I can get some time 2 ways on here, and then I can lose times 2 ways on here. All right. So now spending time, I can spend time worrying. Well, why am I spending time worrying? Because you're not in tune with nature, you're not in contentment with nature, you're not in peace with nature, you're not in oneness with nature, you don't have no patience on nature, you ain't in tune and in season with nature. Therefore, you worry all the goddamn time because you don't know the future, because you ain't intuition, because you ain't learning the system of nature. Nature got a pattern, and if you don't understand the pattern, let me tell you, it is a pattern of permanent temporary things. That means that you're going to always get some changes. That's the pattern. Things will change. Spring will always come, but it'll never stay. Summer will always come, but it'll never stay. So you got to understand that sickness will always be there for you to step your foot in sometime, but it should never stay. And it's in this mindset that we build and strengthen your mind and spirit to heal yourself. Teaching you about the human frame and the human design, where your power really lies, but your lack lies in your ignorance of your power. Your mind's power got you into the problem. It's your mind's power that's going to be the solution. We can raise the dead by raising the mind. Isis didn't really raise Osiris. No such thing. But it was the concept, the principles of Osiris that were being raised. Same thing Coretta did for Martin. Martin was gone, but Coretta still raised the standards of Martin. Betty Shabazz did with Malcolm. Keep the standard. Resurrected. Being a reflection of him. And even though he gone, let me show you what he would have did. Because I'm still here as his wife, as the reflection of Osiris. Isis was created as the reflection of Osiris. Isis was resurrected, but as the reflection of Osiris. So Osiris was resurrected in Isis. And Isis carried the idea of Osiris until it created Heru. Heru in Spanish is called Horus or a order ace. A order ace is what time is it? So an hour comes from Horus. Time comes from Horus. And it just goes back to a planetary story of when Uranus met Gaia and they had Saturn. When God fell in love with the earth. When God fell in love with the earth, they created time. Time didn't like God. Time wanted to be God. And so time plotted on God. Seth plotted on Osiris. Cain and Abel. It's a planetary story. And the culprit or the heroine to this scenario is Venus. Venus coming to the rescue representing love. Love put time in its place and put God back into his rightful throne. So the basic instruction before leaving Earth is to understand how to use this power of love. The power of love subdued time to put God back into control and re-infiltrate the relationship between God and earth, God and man, God and Adam. Remember, earth, the body, physical. That's all. God and intellect. Intuition and intellect, the marriage between the two. When they keep you worrying, you're spending too much of your time exasperating your power. Okay. Now, next is the saving time. How do I save time? Okay. By meditating. All right. Meditation is a form of saving time. Okay. Meditation is a form of saving time. How do I waste time? By being idle and distracted. Okay, idle-minded and distracted. And that's what we're trying to tell you. When you're out of your body with your mind, that is an idle mind. When you're in the present moment, there's no way in the hell you could be idle. You're conscious. Idle is when, you know how your car, when your car idling, that's something just sitting there on. So you're just sitting here on, but you ain't living. You sitting here in it, but you ain't existing. You sitting here in it, but you can't figure this thing out. So you'll never make it to everlasting life because these lessons are too difficult for you. And once we get to 100,000 likes and I start doing birthdays live on here, you're going to see that these are life lessons. And I'm going to tell you the answer to it. And watch how these people react. They're going to be like, hell no, the fuck you know that shit. But this is the old, I'm a timekeeper. You've always had those. And I'm not really the herbalist like that. I'm more of really understanding who I am now spiritually. I'm the timekeeper. We've always had these people. A record keeper. I'm what they would call the scribes back in your Bible, the scribes, or people who just recorded the day, recorded what went on through the day, made sure everybody understood what the day bring. It was a timekeeper. One of the oldest occupations on the planet. And with this, we can track you through the paradigm. So my birthday coming up. I know it. I love to say thank you for holding this. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Buttercup. So now understanding this now. So saving time through meditation, accumulating light is through meditation, right? So accumulating, researching, studying, all of those things are going to get you to save time because you're banking in wisdom. When you start to search, research, and study, you're banking in wisdom. Okay? Everybody understand that? YouTube, put some words in the chat if y'all follow me. I want to make sure y'all are live over here, YouTube. Yes, sir. We love you. We love you. We love you. We appreciate all of what you are doing to help us get to where we're going. Okay? Because where I've been, you have sent me. What I got, you have given me. Okay? Where I have been, you have sent me. And what I've got, you've given me. So I don't got no problem working for my people. Not at all. Okay. So what we need to understand is meditation, studying, researching. That's banking. You're banking wisdom. You're saving. You're investing. That's another way of incoming. So now I got serving others and meditating and studying to show thyself approved is going to get me to do what? Bring income in. That means that I'm extending my time. I got more time. So now when it comes to you being a poor person and you're looking for riches, or when you are a sick person and you're looking for healing, or when you are a lonely person looking for a spouse, then you must understand how to learn your nature first before you go and try to love on somebody else. What is it about you? Who are you? Have you pressed all the buttons in your spacesuit? Why would you want to go to anybody incomplete? So now you meeting this other person, but then you need a pastor. You need a man to be a preacher to you. You need a man as a doctor. You need a man to be your banker. What the hell your man at home doing then? You got to have 12 men to run your life for, because the one man don't know his job. And you got to have 12 women to run your life because the one woman don't know their job, because we're all lost and confused about what it is to be here in this paradigm. And like I said, out of your lack of knowledge, out of your ignorance of how you work and how you are designed, you create industry. So people are going to keep pulling up business. People are going to keep feeding off you. The doctor's going to keep on feeding their families off of your ignorance. The therapists and all these people you're going through that have not made a significant difference in what your outcome is today are feeding off of your ignorance of how you operate yourself. The owner's manual gives you more insight, serves as a guide. Every owner's manual on the planet serves as the same guide. So it's going to be the same for you. It gives you an opportunity to understand what? Optimal performance, optimal usage, and longevity in that piece of equipment. You just bought a blow dryer. Go read it. It's going to tell you how to operate it and how to maintain it. Well, guess what? Yours do the same thing. It tells you how to operate you and then how to maintain you. And that's what y'all missing. Okay? That's what y'all missing. That's what we missing. Okay? That's what y'all missing. Time is money. Okay? Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time, and don't be spending time worrying. Get into an absolute assurance of everlasting life. That's why I'm saying you finna go to church today, but they ain't finna say this. Get into an absolute assurance of everlasting life. Get into an absolute assurance of what you're contemplating, of what you're saying you believe in. Get into an absolute assurance. That means that there's a peace, there's a sovereignty that comes over me, there's a stillness that comes in me. See, I told you that church shouldn't be all a sympathetic nervous system stimulating. Church is supposed to be a place that urges the parasympathetic nervous system, that encourages rest, that encourages a meditative and sedative type of mentality. That way you can get into your highest consciousness without all that sympathetic nervous system cortisol going everywhere. But don't let me talk, okay? I ain't even gonna talk about the church, but you shouldn't be all wham, bam, boom, bam, jumping in the we're blessed in the city. We're blessed. That's on Saturday. But on Sunday, your ass need to be just like this music right here. And it should be promoting rest. Rest of the mind. Rest of the body. You know how when you go to mama and them house, they play that old good gospel. They play that old good blues. They play that music that calms you down. The church should not be rumbling you up when the world has already got you like that. Soothing and calming you down so that we can tap into something in you that's called melatonin. Melatonin is the most antioxidant substance in your body. So let's put that down. It's got more antioxidants than any vitamin C or vitamin D that you can take. It's got more antioxidants than vitamin C and vitamin D and vitamin E and all of that. Melatonin. An antioxidant is also going to help out with anti-aging. How many people want to stop getting old? Everlasting life is what I'm illustrating to you. by resting, by getting into a contentment and a peace with nature, by balancing you out, by aligning you back with nature, you get this sense of abundance and assurance that's going to lead to these things happening inside of you. Serotonin and dopamine and melatonin when you're resting, and all of these things are healing mechanisms that get spewed off in your blood, and these are your self-healing things that you don't know nothing about. Okay? Melatonin also is anti-cancerous. Everybody see that? Okay? We know that that's going to be good too because it helps the immune system. Okay? It helps your immune system. Now, what people don't understand is that melatonin is found in the gut, the brain, the skin, and where else can we find it? The gut, the brain, skin. You can get it in certain herbs. Okay. I think it's a couple more that I'm missing, but the gut, the brain, the skin is all places where that produces melatonin. So it ain't just being melatonin produced in the center of the brain. This is what melatonin is being produced. In the center is the balance. In the center, this is where the healing is at. In the center, this is the fourth chakra. In the center, this is the heart chakra. In the center, this is the love and healing. In the center, this is where the theta brain waves can send out that frequency to connect with nature. It's in the center of the brain. It's in the center. This is the center. Melatonin comes out of the center of the brain, the middle of the brain. Okay? Also, it is produced in the gut. It's also produced in your skin. It's also produced in your reproductive organ. There we go. In your reproductive organ. So now when I'm talking about being able to raise up the kundalini, you can still get melatonin to the brain through the gonads. The ovaries and the testes all produce melatonin. Y'all better listen to this. So now I get this melatonin coming from the root of you, from the south to the north, kundalini. Melatonin is produced in the brain, the gut, the skin, herbs, and your reproductive organs. So we can get melatonin to be raised to get to this highest consciousness. And now this thing is going to come in and start to calm the waters. Okay? This is going to come in and start to calm the waters. All right? It's going to come in and start to calm the waters. So now you're going to start producing more serotonin than cortisol. Serotonin is your good feeling. So now, not only am I in this thing now and I'm getting my most high state, now I'm in my contentment and peace with being balanced with nature. I'm in tune, I'm in season. I'm riding this line, this wave of balance in my life. But now I'm starting to feel way better in life. So now my mood get enhanced. My mood get enhanced, my energy get enhanced, my emotions get enhanced, my memory get enhanced. Now when my memory get enhanced, now guess what? I ain't got no Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Why? Because of the melatonin being produced. Now when my melatonin in my gut, my immune system is at an all-time high. Now when my melatonin is in my skin, but you know I ain't got no skin disorder. And I'm popping. I'm talking about glowing. I'm talking about fire on the skin. Right? Now when I get the melatonin in my herbs that I know, ashwagandha and iris sea moss and all these things that carry these dark colors, then I understand I can get that. And then in my reproductive organs, I'm passing on melatonin to my kids, but also I can get that to raise the sexual hormones, get spewed in the blood and get deciphered all over the body, which means they also cross over the blood-brain barrier. And they do that through the hypothalamus axis. Okay, I think it's called the hypothalamus pituitary axis. Okay, the hypothalamic pituitary gonadic axis. HPG. Okay, it's getting produced in the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland in esoteric knowledge is about perspective. The pituitary gland is your third eye. How do you see in the unknown? How do you see in the darkness? How do you see past the diagnosis? How do you see past the poverty? How do you see past the loneliness? You got to have a flashlight into the dark. Remember that we just said that meditation accumulates light. Meditation allows you to accumulate light. Why? Because meditation puts you in the time. Which one of these controls time? Which one of these chakras control time? So we got the third eye being able to understand its role in opening this gateway up. But then also there's another one that's involved with time. Which one of these chakras that are part of your endocrine glands control time or controls the clock? Anybody know? I know you guys have been learning esoteric knowledge for a minute now. So I know I got somebody on here that's just going to throw it out there. Somebody said the sacral chakra. No. But that sacral chakra would be a part of what we're talking about when we're talking about from the root to the mind. The womb is a root and the mind is a root. Then yes, that would be the sacral here, and then that would be the pineal here. But it's the crown chakra, right? The pineal gland. The pineal gland is in control of your circadian rhythm, which is in control of your time. And the pineal gland is the most high state. It's your most high consciousness. And remember that in the Bible, it talks to you about redeeming the time in the days of evil. When I redeem something, I'm cashing something in. When I redeem my voucher or I redeem my gambling ticket, I'm redeeming it. I'm cashing it. I'm transaction. That's the exchange for what the value is for that particular voucher. So I'm redeeming my time in the days of evil. So we now start the exchange in our time. But what's happening is you've been tricked out of time. So you're going in there redeeming a goddamn $5 card that's worth $1 billion. So again, if I told you that you had everlasting time, can't you see how you're rich? But it's not in money, it's in a rich mind. It's what you do with the time. So therefore, you should be a very good steward of the time you got. Otherwise, that's why death come in as a consciousness to you and as a reality, because you're not being a good steward of your time because you don't understand the human design and you don't know how to share the time. You don't know how to make a smooth transaction between intellect and intuition. So you keep getting stuck on environmental stimuli that you should be passing the test on. Okay, that we should be passing the test on. Okay, so that's the problem with self-healing, not being in alignment with the mind and the body. And for a funky measly $50, the owner's manual is sure to help you get that back together again. And then therefore, man, once you learn this, can't nothing stop you. Everlasting is what we're looking at in the forefront. Okay, being back in tune with nature. Learning how the body preserve is going to also show you how the earth preserve. Preserving and conserving the earth is also a point of conserving and preserving your health. And we're going to show you how to do that as we continue to keep teaching you. Okay, so don't worry about it. I'm growing old in this shit. Okay, so don't worry about it. I ain't going to do nothing else for the rest of my life but teach you this. All right. So peace. So hold on real quick. Thank you guys for the 100,000 likes, you guys. So obviously y'all are in a hurry to do some birthdays, okay? So if you guys are ready to come up on the live and chit chat with me about your birthday and let me walk you through a little bit about what the owner's manual can do for you, then put me in the chat and we'll start sending invitations out, okay? If you are willing to come up on the live and chit chat with your homie HerbMan about health astrology, about your particular health in general, then put me in the chat and we'll get y'all up there. But you got to be able to come up on the live, man. We're not doing it from the chat no more. Okay? There's too many people to do it from the chat. I'm sorry, you guys, about that. Okay, but if you are ready to come up, we'll get you. Lillian, it won't allow me to put you up there for some reason. Divine Love, you are invited. Melody, you are invited. Mo Better Blues, you are invited. Lil J, come on in the building, Lil J. You are invited. Yo. Hello.
Good day, everyone.
What's up? Who am I speaking with?
Aloha.
Can y'all hear me? Who am I speaking with?
Hello, this is Mo Better Blues.
Mo Better?
And Divine Love.
Oh, and Divine Love. Okay, what's happening? Welcome to the HerbMan show. How can I help you guys? All right, now, so Divine Love, I think you was first.
Hello, this is Melody.
Okay, Melanie, how you doing? Please mute your mics until it's your turn, you guys. I think Divine Love was first. Divine Love, do you know me? Have you ever met me in your life?
I have not. This is my first time tuning into your show.
Well, that's good. I always got to ask that so that when we get into this, folks know that I don't know you from a can of paint. So I want you to be as truthful and as honest as you possibly can. If I ain't saying shit correct, tell me that, okay? And if I am saying something correct, tell me that as well, okay?
Okay.
I want you to be straight up because I want the people to understand what we have at our disposal. We've been using this knowledge far too long, and we've been bastardizing this with love spells and love inquiries and money and all this type of stuff. And that's why y'all don't understand what this thing can really do. This ain't just about no love and no money. Look here, if your mind ain't right, it don't matter how many times I tell you about what love is, you're gonna fuck it up. If your mind ain't right, it don't many times I tell you about a business opportunity, you're gonna fuck it up because you're not ready. So ain't no need in asking nobody to give you that information on this when you not understanding that it's something deeper. Why want to meet the best man you ever met in your life when you ain't ready yet?
True.
Why you want to make the most money you ever made in your life when you ain't ready yet?
Right.
You got the want, but you don't have the professional understanding of how to maintain it. You got the wanting, but it's the maintaining that is going to qualify us, and if we're ready for it. And even though we're talking about sickness and healing, you got to be ready. You're doing it out of time. Does that make sense?
You understand?
Okay, understand. Okay, so Divine Love birthday. What is your birthday?
2/13/84.
2/13/84. Okay, 2/13/84. All right, 2/13/84. Now with 2/13/84, we know that from 121 to 221 is going to be a Aquarius. Okay, so you're here. This black mark is your destination. Okay, so automatically your starting point is your finish line. So we already got destination. Remember that a GPS system got two coordinates: your destination and your current location. I don't care if you're in a plane, a train, on the cell phone, in your car, you're going to have two coordinates on your GPS system: where you're going and where you're at. So this right here is where you're going. Getting back to here, you're going to be 120 years old, Divine Love, if you make it back to Aquarius on this map. Now, where are you currently? That's how we do it. Now, we got to get your model number. So from 2 plus 13 is 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. So off the bat, from your date and your from the month and the date, we got 6. Okay, broken down, we got a 6 out of that. All right, then you got 84. So 1984 is going to end up being 18 plus 4. Okay, so 18 plus 4 is 22. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus the 6 is 10. 1 plus the 0 is 1. So you are a model number 1, or what they would call a life path number 1. Okay, but we use model numbers because we use it on this manual. Now, also, you've already let me know you're an Aquarius, so we know that that's an air sign. Every Aquarius has some Leo qualities, so that's your fire. Also, what that means is that when the sun is shining the brightest in Aquarius on the earth, the darkest spot on the earth is what's opposite of that brightness, and the darkest space on the earth is opposite of what's bright in Aquarius is Leo. So you have that alter ego. That's your darkness. That's got to be value. Remember, we talked about the zero. You got all them zeros in $1 million. That's what make up a million, is all them zeros. They hold value. So the darkness in you should hold value, and we Don't overlook that. So we bring that into the equation. Then also the 1 is going to make it an earth element, right? So you are a air, fire, earth being, okay? Air, fire, earth being, born in 1984. That means you're 5 years younger than me. So right now you are 41 years old. So let's track your ass. Now we're going to track you. You are 41 years old. Now, being born on 2/13, remember it's 121 to 221, right? So we already know that you came in on the 13th, so you only did 8 days of this month. Okay, you only did 8 days of Aquarius. 8 days is going to be 3, 6, which is 2 years, 7, 8. You did 2 years and 8 months of Aquarius. Okay, you did 2 years and 8 months of Aquarius. You didn't do the whole Aquarius. Okay, so now you did 2 years and 8 months, and you 41. Watch, I find you. Each one of these lessons is 10 years. 12 lessons, 120 years. So 2 years and 8 months, 12 years and 8 months, 22 years and 8 months, 32 years and 8 months. Okay, and so this would make 42 years and 8 months. So we're gonna say 32 years and 8 months. And you're 41. How many more years do you got before you get to 41? 32 years and 8 months. You're going to need what? To get to 41.
No idea.
8 years and 4 months. Okay, 8 years and 4 months. So you're 8 years and 4 months in. Gemini here. 12, 22, 32. Yep, and Gemini. You are 8 years and 4 months into Gemini. What's 8 years and 4 months? Look here. So 10 days in, 20 days in is 6 years. 23 days in, you had 7 years. Okay, and one more day in, you're at 28. So you're right here. June is in 5/21 to 6/21. You're 28 days in. So you're going to be looking at around June the 19th, 2025. That's really where you are, June the 19th, 2025. Now, let me show you what that means, Divine. What that means is that you're in the 3rd decan of Gemini. If you got some siblings, you're just now starting to end what you started communication-wise with your siblings. Whatever was going on with the siblings is ending, is what I'm telling you. If it wasn't a communication thing going on with the siblings, then there was something going on with how you communicated with yourself. But whatever that's going on, that's ending. That's what you was dealing with for the past 8 years and 4 months. Another thing too is the lesson that you're supposed to learn in this particular lesson of Gemini is how to balance your passion and your boredom. You have this ability to get bored with things, or you need to find some things that you want to be passionate about. Okay, and that was the lesson in this particular era, was to be able to balance that out. And you needed to know that sometimes it's okay to be a little bored. You needed to know that in this lesson. Secondly, although you was born in the 3rd decan here of Aquarius, you wanted to watch out for the movements. All right, something going on with the movements in your body. Okay, your movements. You also want to watch out for circulation issues. Okay, circulation issues and movements. Okay, but the current thing here is going to be also the current thing here is going to be something with speech. Okay, whatever that was going on with speech is ending. Okay, whatever that was going on with your speech is ending. But at the same time, you're also in the physical time of your life. So this time of your life, even though you're 41, it's still requiring a lot of intellect. It's still requiring a lot of physical energy. That's okay. This is the PT test. If you don't be physically fit to make it through this time, then you probably will expire in this time. But this is your physical fitness time, which means that you need to be making sure that you stay healthy physically, because you're in your PT time. It's going to put a lot of pressure on you moving around and just being able to get to what you want to get at in life. Okay. You're also coming into transition. So you're transitioning from the things that you've been dealing with as far as self-growth and self-possessions and self-communication and all of that. You're transitioning. Now you're coming into this Cancerian thing now where you're starting to be a little bit more focused on home and family. That's starting to be important to you. Okay, that home and family, that mothering, that children thing, all that, that's going to be very important for you. And you're transitioning into that. This whole first 30 years since she was 11, it's just been really about you. And that's fine. That's fine, Divine. But now you're finna go into graduating a little bit more. You know, I call this the infantry stage. And then you're going to go into adolescence. So it's going to get a little funner as you get a little older. But remember that you got to be physically fit to get through this time. This is the low tide. This is the new moon. This is the waning moon. So I'm giving you times to be able to coordinate yourself and get in sync so you'll be able to get back in tune with nature. Okay?
Okay.
So that's how you do it. Any questions?
No, sir. You are 100% correct with everything you said.
Uh-oh. There we go. Don't scam now. Don't scam. Don't scam. Now, I will tell you this. The biggest spiritual thing that you got to watch out for, because I didn't say this to you. Now, obviously, you guys, once you get your owner's manual for that little funky measly $50, you get herbs, you get the foods, you get the lifestyle activities, and you get this chart, you get the tracker. You know, you get everything. Obviously, we can't do that for everybody on the live. But being a one, okay, the biggest thing, Divine Love, is stress and anxiety. Worrying and stress can cause you to have arthritis, bone issues, blood pressure issues, low energy, adrenal issues, kidney issues, etc., etc. So we got to be careful about stress and anxiety. And then I'll put another one in there for you as well, is I want you to also watch out for doubt and trust. Doubt and trust issues can cause you to have weight problems, metabolism problems, thyroid problems. So be careful, okay? If you are dealing with these things, you just let me know. And what we do is, if you're dealing with an earth condition, we give you the air herbs. If you're dealing with a fire condition, I give you the water herbs, and vice versa. So we do the polarity. That's the recipe in which we help our people get into. So, but understanding low tide, this is your time to get it. This is your time to work at it. Again, this is going to require a lot of physical effort. You need to be physically fit so that you can get the abundance out of this time. All right.
Definitely will be investing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate you. Peace. All right, who next? Who next up here? Is that Melody? Melody, are you here? All right, now you guys, y'all got to be ready. I know it's a little,
I am here.
Okay, I know it's a little long,
Sorry.
but you got to be ready now, because you know I got many folks. All right, so Melody, do you know me?
I've seen you here once before, but this is totally different than what I was seeing before.
Oh, so you've been walking with me before?
I apologize, but I've been up here before when I just saw you talking about herbs. This is the first time seeing anything like this.
Ah, yeah. So we always evolving, baby, always growing. So now I've always been talking about herbs. You're correct. I kind of been hiding this for a lot of years, but we're just now starting to divulge this out because honestly, this is where I've been getting all my herbal blends and all my herbal understanding. And so I said, hell, again, instead of you guys keeping me busy having to cook this fish for you, why don't we just teach you how to fish? Okay, let's just go ahead and just teach you how to fish. Okay,
that's wonderful.
All right. So Melody, what is your birthday?
1974. Aquarius also.
Aquarius also. Now, people who was watching me yesterday, the first two people were the same birthday, June the 5th, and everything, right? The next two people was the same year, 83. So you'll see the connection that everybody is got their own day, their own time, and even though you guys don't know each other, y'all are riding the same wave of information. Okay, the same wave. All right. So now, Aquarius born in 2-3. Okay, so we got to narrow you all the way down. So let's do it. 2374, the model number. Now, even though both of y'all are women, even though both of y'all are Aquariuses, let's see if there's some differences. And this is what you get with the owner's manual, and this is what you get with nature-based intervention that I think that is going to be a very, very cool understanding, because this is what it oversees the fallibility in modern medicine, in my opinion. But watch this. 2374. 2 and 3 is 5. So we know that the month and the day equals to 5. Okay, 1974 will eventually come down to 17 plus 4, which is 21. So that's a 3. So 3 and 5 is going to get you an 8. So right off the bat, we see the difference right there between the two Aquariuses. One was an 8, while the other one is a 1. Okay, now the sun sign Aquarius, so that's an air. We know the Leo, so that's the fire. And then the 8 is a fire. So you're actually an air, fire, while the other young lady is an air, fire, earth. And this is why you can't pool all of the Aquariuses together. This is why you can't pool all of women together. This is why you can't pool all of genders and just give us these little number ranges. Because remember this, Melody, you might have a refrigerator upstairs, which is a Samsung. You got the little TV on it and everything, got the little buttons on it. And then you got one down in the basement. That's that old ass Frigidaire. They both will freeze and cool food. But when it comes time to repair them, it requires different parts. Am I correct?
Yes.
So just because
Definitely.
You're a woman don't mean that you just like every other woman. Just because you're this gender, just because you're this skin color, there are variations and specs that are going to be required for you. Now, when you get an owner's manual, not only does that owner's manual help the operator operate and maintain the equipment, but it also helps the service technician, your doctor, your pastor, me, your herbalist, your holistic practitioner. It helps a service technician service you easier and faster when you have the owner's manual. So this just don't benefit you as in you taking your own health to your own hands. But if you did want to go out and still shop for service technicians, at least you got your owner's manual to be able to help them know who you are, because they ain't gonna know it no otherwise, and they won't know how to deal with you. And that's the fallibility of modern medicine. Let's keep it going. So now self-control is gonna be your biggest thing, Melody. Self-control issues, Melody, can lead to digestive disorders. All right, can lead to high blood sugar. You can be having spouts with your pancreas, your liver, your gallbladder. Also, 8 is going to let me know the nervous system. Okay, the fire is the mental fortitude. So we got to make sure we're not overthinking. We're not kicking our nervous system all out of whack. You got to make sure that you're able to sleep and rest, control your mood, control your aggression, control your passions. All these things are what's going to be indicated in this now. Now let's find you where you at. 74, you are 5 years older than me. So you are 51. The other one was 41, you 51. Boy, I tell you the truth. Let's get it. So how many years did you do in Aquarius? 2, 3, 74. So from 121, so we know you at least missed 10 days. So we'll say that's 13 days, okay? So you missed 13 days, which means that you missed 4 years. Okay, you missed 4 years of Aquarius. So all you did here was 6 years. Because each one of these is 10 years, okay? So you're 51, so 6, 16, 26, 36, 46, and you're 51. So you are 5 years into Cancer, okay? You're 5 years into Cancer, all right? Now, being 5 years into Cancer automatically let us know that's 10, 13, 10, 13, 16 days in. Okay, you're 16 days in. So cancers are normally going to be 621 to 721. So if you do 16 days, you're around about 7/7/2025. That's where you're at currently, 7/7/2025. That means that you're slap dab in the middle of dealing with something going on. I'm going to say something going on with your body fat, some body fat issues, body weight issues. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. You're currently in the middle of
weight.
okay, yeah, some body fat issues. Now, also because of you being in the middle decan of Aquarius, you got to watch out for you're gonna have to watch out also for something going on with the legs. Okay. All right, something going on with the legs and with the blood. All right, so watch blood issues and watch leg issues because that's where you at in the Aquarius. All right. Another thing too here is so now you got the legs, you got the blood, you got the body fat issues here that you want to be careful about. But then you just need to understand that you're in that physical time of life as well. You're in the low tide, you're in the new moon. You're in that time where you need to be physical. You need to, if any time for you to get out and do it, you want to do it now, even though you're 51. But if you're not healthy enough to pass this PT test, then obviously you're going to have some problems with it. So this is still going to be a time that's going to require you to get up and get out and go and do. And that's what you want to be able to take advantage of. Preparation breeds opportunity. So now that you're being prepared a little bit more about what's going on, you need to understand that. Now, the lesson that you're trying to learn in Cancer, the lesson that you need to learn that's going to help you pass this test is between two things. Keep it together or break it apart. You need to keep it together. Keep it together, Melody.
Okay.
Keep it together. That's going to make you pass this test. Whatever you're going through, make sure that you keep it together. That's the answer to the test.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. You have a good one. Thank you. All right. Peace. All right, Mo Better. Where you at?
I'm right here in the building. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Now, don't let me scare you. Now, you seem like Melody was a little scared. She wanted to run up out of here. Yeah, hold up now. Melody said, hold up now. Let me get up out of here, motherfucker. You might know where I live at. No, I don't know where you live at. It don't tell me where you live at. It ain't gonna tell you where you live at. But y'all see how the differences are in the people. So that's why I'm telling you these ranges, these blood types, all this stuff, it just doesn't hold enough specs. All right. So this is gonna be Mo Better. Mo Better, do you know me?
So partially, I am a YouTuber subscribed, but
okay,
only this year.
Okay, but you ain't never met me, seen me before, or called in before the show and be like, hey, look, ask me, I'm gonna come on there. You don't know me like that, do you?
No, I do not.
Okay, so that's what we want to know. Now, give me your birthday.
My birthday is 3/25/78.
3/25/78. Okay, so now your model number is going to come from your date and your month, right? So 3/25 is going to be 28. 2 plus 8 is going to be 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So we get a 1 out of the date and the month. Now we got to come over here to the year. 1978 is going to end up being 17 plus 8, which is 25. Okay, and 5 and 2 is 7. So you got the 7 plus the 1 is going to give you the 8. Okay, 7 plus the 1 is going to give you 8. Now 3/21 to 4/21 is going to make you an Aries. I'm sorry, 3/21 to 4/21 is going to make you Aries. So your whole job is to make it back here to be 120 years old. Okay, but we got to figure out where you're at. We know destination. Where is the current location? 78, you're 1 year older than me, so you're going to be 47 years old, and you are an Aries, so that's a fire. The balance to an Aries is a Libra, so that's your air. The 8 is representing fire as well. So you are a fire, air, fire. Okay? Fire, air, fire, or fire, fire, air, however you want to call it. Basically meaning that you're very smart, very intelligent, could be a little bit of an overthinker as well, could have problems with the nervous system. Also, you want to watch out for your digestive system. Self-control will also be your biggest enemy. It's going to be your self-control issues. Also, you want to watch out for attachment issues and things of that nature can cause you some issues as well. If you don't know,
do you want me to run?
Don't run. I want you to stay here. I want you to stay right in the pocket. Also, I'm going to show you what you're currently dealing with. We're just telling you just what's coming out of the birthday. This ain't even, again, if you pay your little funky measly $50, you'll be like, hell to the no. But I'm just showing y'all if this thing can do this, the remedies are just absolutely unmatched because it's spitting out remedies just like it's spitting out this information about you. And so we can be a little bit more insured because this is the language that we're going back to the talk to nature. So the way you got tagged coming in was through your birthday. That's your toe tag or your time tag. So the only way to go back to nature with all this creation is to go back with something she can remember her creation by, which is a time tag. When were you created? Your manufacturing date. When did you come into the existence? And that's the timekeeper. That's the book of life. That's the record keeping. God knows you is not by accident, but you can't connect back with it because you severed the tie. Everything that you've done created enmity between you and nature, between you and your nature, and between you and God. That's what I'm trying to show. Christians, everybody, we need this. It don't matter who you are. We need to get back happy, whole, and well again. Okay? And let's keep it pushing. All right, so 325, so you 4 days in, right? So you only missed 4 days of Aries. Only missing 4 days of Aries, meaning that you missed a year and 4 months. So that means that you did 9 years and 8 months, okay? So you got 9 years and 8 months in to Aries. 8 years and 8 months in. 8 years and 8 months in to Aries, okay? You are 47. 8 years and 8 months in, 18 years and 8 months, 28 years and 8 months, 38 years and 8 months, and then this would be 48 years and 8 months, but you're 47, okay? So you're here in Leo, okay? You're here in Leo, and you would be 48 and 8, and you're 47, so you're a year and 8 months away from ending this particular lesson, okay? A year and 8 months away is 3 days, is 3, 4, 5 days away. So 5 days away is Leo. Leo is going to be between, I think Leo is 7/21 to 8/21. So 5 days away will make you around about what, 8/16? Now remind you, what's the day's date? The third, right? So you literally are 13 days ahead of time. When we come back reincarnated and rebirth, they come back in, they put you back in time, off time. So when you're coming back in under the Gregorian calendar, you get thrown off. That's why you're not supernatural. That was the secret that was being buried in the dark ages. If you throw them off of nature, throw them off of time. Remember, this whole story is about Uranus, Gaia, and Saturn, planets that they call God, that had a relationship with Earth. Uranus is God, had a relationship with Earth, and had a baby called Saturn. Then Venus came up. Saturn didn't like his daddy, God. Saturn wanted to be God. Saturn is time. Time wanted to be God, so time fuck with God, just like Seth did Osiris, just like Cain and Abel. Time wanted to rule you. But Venus, representing love, came in and helped get rid of time and put God back into position. So it is the time that we must understand that you got to be conscious of time. If you're conscious of your time, you've been a good steward with this time. If you understand the time that you're in, you can reconnect and synergize and synchronize with Earth way better than most of us. And guess what? Your opportunities of healing, opportunities of healing your pockets, opportunities of healing your society, opportunities of healing your body, opportunities of healing your relationship, opportunities of healing your world now are a little bit more attainable when we are connected mind, body, and soul, when we're in a synergy, in agreement, in alignment. And I'm showing you how to tap into those alignments so that you can increase your health and your wealth. Okay, now you get this all for that little funky measly $50, but we got one more. Let's keep on going. So you're in 8/16/2025. That means that you're in the third decan of Leo. So watch this now. Third decan of Leo. That means that something is ending All right, something is ending. You're just finishing up. Something going on with your circulation. Okay, something going on with your circulation that's just starting to end. All right. Now the fact that you are Aries, born in the first deacon of Aries, you want to watch out also for head injuries. All right, just old random things going on with the head injuries and stuff like that. You want to be careful of, and your metabolism as well. More better. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so metabolism, head injuries, that circulation issue thing you want to watch out for. Is there any other thing that you want to ask me right now? You're in the low tide of life. You're in that new moon. You're in that physical time as well. Seem like all of y'all are in the same time that came up today. Y'all all are in low tide. So look for new moon. Look for a waning moon. Look for things to get out here to do. You know, when it's low tide, that's when you go out and go fishing. That's when you go look for your little metal and stuff all out there on the beach. When it's low tide is when you go try to find your seashells. When it's low tide is when you go out here and plant the seeds. When it's low tide is when you go out here and reap what you sow. It's the low tide when you should be doing all the physical things you want to do and get this body. You need to do it now because you're going to cross over here in a minute into another time in the next 10 years. So when you get 60 plus, you're finna go through your transition, and that's all gonna be spiritual. So the latter part of your life is all gonna be spiritual, all gonna be magnetic, all gonna be about how you can focus and concentrate. Now, if you don't understand what I'm teaching you today, and you get into this time and you don't know how to exercise this moment, then guess what? You'll run the body down, because this is supposed to share this with the body. So try to run this body on into a spiritual time. You're gonna run your gas. You won't make it to 120 years old.
So I want to say this really quickly. I will definitely be scheduling an appointment with you this weekend, Friday or Saturday.
Yes,
but for the people that are on the live, he said I need to be careful with my head injuries is because when I'm sweeping the floor, I may set the broom up against the wall, then I'll bend down to get up the trash, and that broom has fallen and hit me in my head before. So I do get small head injuries like that. And I was thinking yesterday that I was going to go and buy some bulbs to put them down in my garden. So now that I've been advised that it is my planting season, I will definitely be going out there to get those bulbs.
Yes, ma'am. And then also just to kind of top it off, you are the fire element, right? So you're probably a woman too that's got a house full of candles, okay? But you need to learn how to use those candles, not for scent, not for just because of this, but it is that fire element, that sunlight, that fire element that can also help you when you're praying, when you're meditating, when you're focusing, when you're concentrating, when you want to get that alone time, when you want to get into these subtle meditative moments, these subtle, the kind of calm and calm and relax the nervous system. Use candles, use fire, okay?
Okay, absolutely. So again, I will be inboxing you to make an appointment for Friday or Saturday. Thank you so much.
Okay, we appreciate you, man. If you guys are interested in your owner's manual, please DM me and we will get you the information that you need, okay? If you are interested in your owner's manual, please DM me and we'll get you the information that you need, okay? I let these people be able to say whatever you want to say, man. You can come up and say, boy, you hitting on some bullshit. That's some crocker shit. I want to be able to allow people to divulge to you whatever. We don't know these people. All I'm trying to show you that if this shit is accurate at any little bit, just by using your birthday, how much more accurate can it be with the remedies that can help you get back into oneness with nature and get back into oneness with yourself? That is what we are doing here, you guys. That's what we're doing. And I'm going to keep on doing 2 days until you guys understand that this is not a moment in time. This is a movement, and there's nothing you can do about it. All right. So I love you guys, man. We appreciate all of the likes, man. We appreciate all 125,000 likes. We appreciate all 100 or so viewers that still hung down, man. Love you guys, man. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Come back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. If you guys are willing to come up on the live, we will read your life for free and show you where you're at in the wheel of life, on the life path. I love you guys. Until next time. Peace. Thank you, YouTubers. We love you guys, man. Thank you for also hanging in there with your homie HerbMan. Peace.